Let's see. All right, we're about to start. We're about 5 minutes away.
Let's see.
Yes, perfect. So welcome YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. I am on multiple channels right now. We are about to start The Power of Your Story. This is a webinar that I'm really excited to introduce and to share you guys with. So if you are seeing this, I've been really thinking about who you are, who I am speaking to, and you are a person with a message on your heart. You've gone through an experience, or maybe multiple experiences, that if other people didn't feel so alone, if other people didn't feel like they were just drowning in whatever that experience was, if they had your roadmap out of it, if they had your hope out of it, if they knew that there was another side, that their lives would transform, and you wish that you had a you, right? You wish that you had a you a couple years back, right? You have a book inside of you. You have a story inside of you. You have a talk inside of you. Maybe you're building your empire. Maybe you're building your legacy, right? And you're just not quite sure how or where to start. Maybe you think that you are just, who's going to listen to you? But really, all it takes is one person. I remember telling myself that 20 years ago when I really started this whole journey. I cannot believe it's been 20 years, but it was 2005 when I opened up my own yoga studio and put together the first twist yoga teacher training, the first things that I wrote. And I remember thinking, like, who am I? Who am I to do this, right? And that one teacher that I trained, that one person that was touched, that next life that I saved, and over the years, one person at a time has changed. And I've changed their lives. And you're meant to do the same thing. So you're seeing this because of that. What we're going to go over today is a lot. I want to honor the people that have signed in for this webinar. If you'd like to get the replay, if you would like to get the webinar notes and the workbook that comes with The Power of Your Story, all you have to go is to yourownuniversity.com and just register for The Power of Your Story, and you'll get that replay. You can also schedule a time with me and all of that stuff, and we're going to dive in. We're going to dive in to this awesome content. You also get those invites. And before I share my screen on here, I'm going to just pull up a couple things, moving you guys around here on TikTok. Make sure that I have all of these links ready for you because you don't want to miss it. You do not want to miss it. And I'm excited that you're here. So if you would tap that screen, I would love interaction. So go ahead and type in interaction. If for any reason you're like, you know what, Lisha, I just want to join you, and you've worked with me in the past, just take our link, okay? We are on our normal link. So if you're on YouTube or you're on here, we're on our normal link. So go ahead and take that link and let's rock it out. All right. I'm gonna make sure I have these open. All right, so on YouTube, I am putting up the link for the webinar. If you would like to just go and join us in the actual replays and get the books and get everything that I'm talking about and get all the goodies, all right? For the TikTok, you'll have to go to my link, okay? To my link there. All right, loves. I am very excited here. Get that back on track here. Two. Back to my Zoom. All right, cool. We have some people showing up on Zoom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Beautiful to have you here. Thank you for being a part of this webinar and this replay. This is actually a bonus replay that I am doing. I'm going to start sharing the screen here in a moment. Welcome on all of our channels. And it's very exciting to have you here. And I know it'll be a little transition as we go through this screen share here. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me open up this presenter screen. So yay, we are here. We are here, the power of your story. You guys are going to be listening there. If you want to see the whole thing, you can go to see the replay, but I'm gonna really explain everything as much as I can. If you feel like taking notes, please do. I'm gonna see your comments here on TT. So go ahead and pull out your notebook and let's dive in. If you are on the webinar, welcome. It is beautiful to have you here. I'm so excited. We do have chat in the webinar, so go ahead and open up the chat, say hi, let me know where you're from, and then of course I also have everybody on YouTube. I don't have a screen to be able to see the YouTube, but I'm trusting that you're here, and if you have any comments, I'm gonna reply to you afterwards, and I will check once we're done with the presentation. So first, I want to just welcome you to the power of your story. We're going to be spending about 60 minutes together here, diving deep into, why your heart is saying, tell my story, why your heart is saying this matters, right? So your story is the basis of your empire. And when I say empire, I really mean like not this like big business go power thing. I mean like you're here on the planet to take up space, to claim who you are, to say yes to you. And in that, you are going to thrive. In that, you are going to feel heard and seen and alive, right? In who you are and what you're doing. And you're going to make money. You are going to make an impact. You are going to leave a legacy. You are going to thrive, right? And your story is the basis of that. Your story is the basis of everything that you are meant to do and meant to accomplish in this world. So welcome to the power of your story and everything that you get to accomplish. When you write your book and when you share your talk, when you put together a program that changes lives, then you not only heal yourself, and we're going to talk about that, but you also create an income, right? You don't have to struggle. You create an income. Even in the midst of my struggling over the last like 20 years, like I'm doing what I'm called to do. Every moment is fulfilling. There are some months because my programs, my personal programs, help people actually heal. So I'm constantly looking for people. People don't stay with me for years and years and years on end. That's not my protocol. They actually graduate and they actually go and do life after healing. And because of that, right, like there's been some lulls. Same tapping, right? Yeah. Like there's some lulls in business sometimes. But every moment I know that I'm doing what my heart is called to do. And it's based on that why, that story, right? And what that brings you is freedom. What that brings you is legacy. And I'm super excited to share all of that with you today. All right. So who this is for is survivors, right? You went through something, and this is for you because you are now alive to have a bigger purpose, and you know that, right? This is for healers, for coaches. Maybe you've been through many certifications, many modalities. Maybe you've traveled the world and done it. Maybe you've been to everybody else's program, but you haven't created one of your own. Maybe you're still kind of in that fear space of stuck in corporate or stuck in a job, and you're not quite sure how to get out of it, but you want to create a foundation to do that. So you're not just leaping into another career, right? Your story is your foundation. And this is really for anybody that has a story to tell, even if you're telling your story to yourself for healing. And we'll talk about how your story heals. So as I move through here, I have to see my little light. All right. So as we get into this, I just want to share a little bit about me. If you don't know me and you're just listening, you might be like, who is this woman talking to me, right? But you might have been watching me for years. I've been online. I've been around for a couple decades now, which is friggin' crazy. I started my career online in 2010. I started my career as a yoga teacher in 1998, and a holistic coach and healer in 1998. However, 2005 is when I really started producing my own certification programs and training programs, and it started with a yoga series. And I never thought that I would be a writer. I have dyslexia. I couldn't spell. I surrounded myself with people that were very committed to telling me how I couldn't do anything right and I was wrong, and joking and teasing me about these things. There was nothing in my sphere that said I could do it. I was a stay-at-home mom in Alaska, right, of all places. And for years, I only wrote workbooks. For years, I only wrote courses and stuff. And I had people like coming in and editing them for me and helping me write these courses. And it wasn't until another author back in 2010 said, you know what, well, you already are an author. You already are writing these programs. You're already doing everything. And so why don't you just write a book, you know? But I was really hesitant to do that. They wanted me to tell my story. And this was my abuse story, right? What happened to me, surviving childhood sexual abuse. And I was like, oh my gosh, there was different elements to my story. It was intense and deep. Every time I wrote it, right, I'd have to go through the healing of it, right? But they promised me, no, people want to hear it. They want to do it. And they want to know what you have to say. So what did I do? I wrote another program. I wrote Amazing You, which is now around the world. It's this training program I do for our certification, for our coaching certification students now at your own university. But it was my foundation. I wrote this program, but it was my safe space. And I got to inch by inch, little by little, by writing paragraphs, writing stories in people's books, share that. And actually all of my books I left in the other room. Darn it, they're all like set up. But I got to be a part of about 5. Hey Asher, I've got to be a part of about 5 books, and that was really a blessing. And then I've written 2 teaching platforms. I got my PhD, my master's, and I've written 5 books myself since then. So you are in good hands. It's just a little bit about me. Here, I'll show you guys this. After writing my first book, I got to be invited to meet the experts to talk about the healing modality of the Amazing You system. This is before I even knew what it was, you guys. It was super fun to be a part of this show. They flew me down to San Diego and put me on this show, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I was going through my scarf phase. Now I'm out of my scarf phase. But I was on my scarf phase at that moment. So anyway, this is really going to be about you. I want this to be about you. I want you to know that the book inside of you, the calling inside of you, is something that you're meant to do, right? It's not just calling to you because nobody wants to hear it. It's calling to you. You have this desire to do something, to write your book, to put together your talk, to start your program, to share it with one person or a million people, because you are unique and nobody else can be you but you. And that's what I want to help you tap into today. So what we're going to go over is the seven reasons why your story heals, and we're going to pull those reasons out of you today. I want you to get your notebook because this is an interactive thing. I would love you to comment and make comments. So here in the webinar, go ahead and put it in the chats. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and just put them on there, and I will see them as soon as I can. I'll comment on them as soon as I can, but you guys can interact together if you're there. And if you're on TikTok, go ahead and put them in the comments there, because this is actually when you start writing. You're going to start writing right now, right? So how does it feel inside of you to think, I'm going to start writing right now by commenting? If that feels a little scary, put a little scary emoji in there. If that feels like a little exciting for you, put excited in there, right? Let's start sharing how and who we are here and how this feels, right? So that's number one as we dive into these 7 secrets. So the shift that changed everything for me and has changed everything for the people that I get to work with, these leaders, they're new thought leaders, they're healers that I work with, they're people that are taking their authority to the next level, right? I help people go from literally having no authority, no choice in their life, feeling sabotaged in their story and by their health, to literally sharing their story on stages, speaking as advocates around the world, and helping other people as coaches. So if they can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. So here's the 7 reasons why they go into it. Do you do prank calls? Oh my goodness, you were so funny. All right, so the first reason why we write our story, you guys, is to heal, right? So in this, if this is calling to you, you may be thinking, well, I can't write my story yet. I can't write my story yet. I'm still working on healing, right? If I start writing, I'm going to fall apart, right? So instead of waiting, hoping that one day you feel worthy and you'll be able to write your story, imagine sitting down to write your story. And instead of feeling all alone in it, instead of feeling like, oh, I got to go to therapy and do that, instead of feeling like you're going to re-traumatize yourself, you know that you have somebody behind you, with you, maybe a community of people, but definitely me with you, helping you tackle those triggers that come up, helping you figure out how to use your words and how to use your voice to really be honest with yourself, to heal your inner child as you write, to heal your inner teen, to heal your inner wounded man or woman that was hurt in that relationship, right? That was hurt in that place, right? So you're not only reopening wounds, to not know what to do with it, to get lost in it again and never finish your book. You're letting them open up so you can actually look at them, so you can be held in them, so I can hold you in them, so somebody else can hold you in them, and you can work through them, right? So I used to believe that I wasn't enough, right? I used to believe that my story didn't matter. I used to believe that once I began writing my story that people would judge me or hurt me. Those were all normal things. But that's really why I built Empire Builder, right? So we don't have to do that. So you don't have to do it alone. You just don't have to do it alone. You don't have to face those traumas and dramas alone, but you can still write about them. You can still heal to that next level. Remember, healing is cyclical, right? You might have already visited them 100 times, but your nervous system is like, well, I don't want to go back there and do it, right? You don't need therapists to. Just let's utilize writing to heal. So your healing deepens as you write. So don't wait until you feel ready. Right? If you feel like you're ready to heal, you have some tools underneath your toolbox, right? Tapping point, like you have some tools in your toolbox. Go ahead and say, give me a 1 in the comments. Give me a 1 in the comments. Perfect. Perfect. Yay! Got some ones happening. Okay, so the second reason, yes. So the second reason why writing is so important is that you are an authority. So for many survivors of abuse, and many people have gone through trauma and drama and are in this survival space, right? That I'm writing with. That's who I'm speaking to. You have a story to tell about your own life, right? And you become the authority. Writing lets you be the authority of whatever your topic is, right? Writing, yes, Heather, writing lets you be the authority. So maybe you're thinking, well, I don't have a PhD. You know, when I wrote my first stories, my first programs, I didn't either. You know what? I actually got my PhD so I could be more of an authority because I was going into psychology and soul psychology and rewriting the script on identity methods and rewriting the scripts. And so I needed a PhD, right? But when I wrote those scripts, before I proved them academically, I wrote them. And then I went into academia thinking, well, I could be wrong. Let me prove myself wrong. And I proved myself right. So thank God on that, right? And if you've been through Amazing You, you know it, right? But maybe you're thinking, well, I don't have my PhD. I can't be a bestseller. I will tell you, being a bestseller is really about strategy, especially on Amazon. It's kind of a joke, but we can set you up, and we will set you up in the Amazing Empire Builder to be an authority in your own right, to stand on your own platform, to do this as you do this, and truly honor what you know that you know, right? And then being that Amazon bestseller, being a New York Times bestseller, getting the plans, knowing how to do this. That's what we specialize in the Empire Builder. That's what I've studied, right? To take this to the next level for you. So whether you want a small platform, maybe you're just writing for yourself, or you want a large, huge platform, I help you figure out how to step into that platform for yourself. So when I wrote my first book, I thought, oh, all I'm ever going to do is write workbooks. And actually one of my biggest sellers is a little book that I wrote many years ago. It's actually a challenge. It's a crazy story. I'll tell it someday. But when you're in the Empire Builder, I'll tell you the story, because how I was roped into writing that book was insane. But it's called From Bondage to Happiness, and it sells all the time, and that revenue comes back to me. And it was literally written in about 2 weeks. So I'm going to share with you how to do that. So really about being the authority. Do you feel like you're the authority in your life? Are you ready to take the authority back in your life, to be your own authority? If so, put a 2 in the comments. If you're ready to be an authority in your own life, the authority of you, right? And really share with yourself how you are the authority of you. Put a 2 in the comments. Hey, let's start writing. Put that 2 in the comments. All right, so the next way that writing heals for you is visibility. So many people, when we've gone through abuse, so many people, we go and we hide. I'll start tomorrow, right? Yes, Heather. So I'll start tomorrow. So I'll start next week, or I don't want anybody to see my face, or I don't want anybody to know that it's me, or I don't want anybody to get hurt by me writing my story. This is where I come in and I say, okay, these are your different options. This is what we do. This is how you can get visibility, whether you are just a soul in there and you don't want your face to show, or you are writing from a perspective of not wanting to hurt maybe family and friends. If you had abuse in the family, you don't want to embarrass anybody. How do you get around that while still holding your truth? How do you create visibility in the world when it's scary, right? How do you do all of this stuff that aligns with your truth? This visibility piece is huge, right? So you might be worrying like, even if I write my book, nobody will see it. Right? What if it just sits on Amazon and nobody buys it? Right? This is where marketing comes into place, and we definitely cover that in Empire Builder. We cover that in all of my programs, whether you're a yoga teacher, a coach, or Empire Builder, writing your book and building your legacy. This is something that's really important to us. I actually had a business with my ex-husband that was $1 million business. It was the first $1 million business that I had. And we had really, he still has it. And it was in marketing, right? So marketing is something that I play with, something that I'm constantly learning about, something that I've researched a lot, and something that I love to help my clients dive into and figure out myself as well. So your story deserves to be heard, but the first person that gets to hear your story is you. The first person that gets to see your story is you, right? So remember, you're healing through your story. You're creating the authority on you in your story. So if you've ever had narcissistic abuse, you're reclaiming that authority on you. And 3, now you're creating visibility. And that visibility and that vulnerability starts with you, okay? And then from there, you get to choose how you are doing that. So I used to think, nobody cares, right? So if you're thinking that this might be your block here, nobody cares, right? But the truth is your story is magnetic. Your story is going to touch somebody. And even when you touch somebody, it's amazing. Every week I hear, thank you so much for saving my life. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for being there. And some people I don't even know. Some people are literally just writing me because of social media or a live or one webinar that they came to or being on my newsletter, right? So you just don't know. You just don't know, right? So if you want speaking gigs so you can touch more people that you know or don't know, you want to launch partnerships, right? This is going to help you do that. I want to help you get it done, right? And so if your story deserves to be heard and you feel it in your heart, your story deserves to be heard, put a number 3 in the comments. Comment number 3, and let's solidify you see yourself and you know that your story will impact others. Put a 3 in the comments. Say 3, this is you owning it. We are activating things. If you've ever worked with me, you know that I'm an activator. I'm a trauma transformer. I'm a transformer in the sense of you get around my energy and whether you want to or not, 1, you're going to see yourself. 2, you're going to start healing. And 3, you're going to get invited to really see yourself in a way that knows your worth, right? And get through all of that. All right, let's keep going because I don't want to take up too much of our time, but the next thing is we get a legacy. And this one used to mean a lot to me because I've always felt like I had a big purpose and I wanted this big legacy, right? You might worry, well, what are people going to think when I'm gone? What are people going to think about me? Nobody's going to think anything of me when I'm gone. Where's my blueprint in this world, right? And survivors carry on this silent wisdom within us so often, thinking that we don't matter, right? Or that we just go silent. And I want to say, imagine your children. Just invite yourself to imagine for this moment your children, your grandchildren, even strangers, right? Holding your book years from now and letting your words be their guiding light, letting your methodology, maybe your tapping method, right, be their torch to pursue a more perfect purpose. I really realized that it was more than a story last year when one of my clients, she was going into her coaching certification program. She had gone through the Amazing You methodology with me, and she was dying, or she was struggling with stage 4 breast cancer. And she had a family, but this woman kept going and kept going and kept going and kept writing and kept believing in herself. And Stephanie's story lives on now. And I wish I had my books here, but they're in the other room. But Stephanie's story is Not Broken. You can get it on Amazon. Not Broken, Echoes of Strength, Raised from the Shadows, A Life Reclaimed. And it's about healing from SI, healing from BPD. It's about her story, but her legacy, her book. I was at her funeral. I was on the internet actually at her funeral, and I was so touched by this meaning of legacy and leaving a legacy, because literally the entire service was opening up her book and reading the letters of hope, the letters of yes, for that she got to write to her family, to her friends, about her life and what things meant and her relationship with God in her book. That's still her legacy living on, right? She was a mother. She didn't come from much, right? She had lived a struggling life, but she was hope for many people on TikTok. She was a guiding light, right? And she was a published author. And even through her sickness, even she was sick when she wrote this, even through that, she left this legacy for people. So anyway, definitely grab her book if you want to do that. But it is still a program. It is still a light of hope for people battling against SI, for people battling against BPD, and wondering if they can heal from CSA. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So how would you know? How would you feel inside of you, right? Knowing that anything could happen. Anything can happen to you at any time. And all it took was 21 days for you to get your book done. And you said no. What if that legacy of your life experience is what people need right now to live their best life? And what if you can continue to give that? How does it feel to know that you can continue to give that right here, right now? Okay. So if you want to leave a legacy in this world, knowing that if something happened tomorrow, you could do it. Where are we on? Leave a 4 in the comments. Leave a 4 in the comments. Awesome. 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 All right. So the next thing that your story can give you is income. And your story can give you great income. Okay. I have friends that literally make $100,000 a month from their story, from speaking on stages, from having a book, right? I have made upward of 20K months from having my book, from writing, from coaching, right? Normal 20K months was normal for me a bit ago. And this year I'm going through transition where this is my focus. If you've been following me for a long time, you know that my focus has been, yes, please, yeah, right? That my focus has been helping survivors of CSA and SA reclaim their identity and step into their truth through holistic healing. I've been working with people. So many of those people wanted to go into writing their books. So many of those people wanted to go into one of my coaching programs, my yoga programs. Now remember, I've had these programs for a long time. Right? They've been on my back end. Now they're on my front end. And I've been going through that transition, right? One reason why is because I know how writing your story, having your book, putting together your talk, and speaking can help you increase your income. And I want to see so many people that have worked with me in the past, and so many people that want to step into this, that are utilizing not somebody else's method, right? But their own story to create income, to create freedom in their lives. And I know that that's possible. So maybe you're wondering, well, I'm scared to invest because how am I going to make my money back? Well, you're going to make your money back. Why? Because you're going to put together a method of speaking and talking. You're going to put together a method. I'm going to help you with this method in Empire Builder to help you put together a plan for you to create income from your story, right? So picture creating income streams from your story. These are book sales. Okay, so we talk about marketing your book sales, Amazon, and other affiliates, and how to publish, right? Speaking gigs. I help you put together your talk, your signature talk. I've been all over the world talking, and as an advocate, even as a single mother, okay, a single mom living in Alaska, I flew around the world and spoke in 2015, 2016, 2017. Then my kids came to live with me full time, and that part of my career became online, right? But speaking around on stages around the world is so fulfilling. Coaching clients, right? Coaching clients, healing clients. I work with people that are doulas. I work with people that are working in corporate. I've worked with people that literally help people buy houses. Right? Like you can use this for so many things, right? And your story can create this foundation for all of those things and your program so you can thrive, so you can make some money. So your story isn't just powerful, it's profitable. Okay, I promise you that. When put together correctly, your story isn't just powerful, it's profitable. An empire turns it into your business. Okay, that's something that I do. I turn your story into your business so you can make money. Now, I have been making money in this business, a sustainable living in this business, right, without anything else over the last 5 years. Now, before that, I was getting my master's and my PhD. I was working as a therapist as I was doing that, and I'm not counting that time as time where I just got money from my business, but I was making money from my business at that time too, because I never closed my business while I was having those jobs. But I needed a job to fulfill my requirements for school, if that makes sense. Then I moved on. All right, so it's not that I haven't made money the whole time. I can't lie. I don't want to lie, right? So that's why it was super cool. All right. So the next thing that your book connects with you. So if you want income, you guys put a 5. If you want income, put a 5. If having another line of income, maybe it's not your only line of income, but another stream of income is good for you, go ahead and put a 5 in the comments. Put a 5 in the comments. So I know that that's important to you. And so you can stay it, because we're activating here. Remember, you're activating, yes, my story is a 5, right? So the next thing that we can pull together is connection, right? So you may be thinking people don't understand me. Maybe you've been feeling really alone. They'll judge me if I tell my truth. They'll come after me if I tell my truth. I hear that so often. But instead, what if you could write your story in such a way, right? If we're working together, you write your story in such a way that people are saying, oh, me too. Me too. Oh, I needed to hear that. You don't understand how many times, whether it's, I even got an email, when it was like 2 weeks ago, that somebody that is a Christian practicing yoga, they got a hold of my book, All You. And All You is a Yoga Sutra in the Bible comparison study that I worked 10 years on. That was actually the basis of my consciousness studies of how we come together as human nature in my master's degrees. Anyway, that said, they wrote me and they're like, I've been struggling with how these two fit together. And your book just helped me continue my practice and understand the difference between science, philosophy, and how we live as yogis. And I was like, oh my gosh, my heart just burst open. And I was so touched by that. Total stranger. Right? So that's a legacy, but it built connection. Now she can go and teach more people. Now she can go and back up her claims, right? To how she can be a Christian and practice yoga and how that goes together. Because she has a book where she doesn't have to spend 10 years in the study. I did that for her, right? And she can put this together. That's a connection. That's beautiful. So your story is the bridge between you and somebody else. And that's beautiful. So how many of you want to be the bridge for somebody else in their story? If you want to be the bridge, put a 6 in the comments, right? And the last of these 7 secrets is leadership. Leadership. When we move from being behind the story and being hidden in the story and having that story, right? We're no longer surviving. You're leading your life, right? You fear stepping into leadership because you might fear that it will expose you. You might fear that you might be looked at like an imposter. But imagine stepping into your leadership with a heart so big because you're the authority of you, right? And you're teaching people from your life experiences. You don't need permission anymore to lead. You don't need permission anymore to shine, to be visible. All you need to do is step forward. An empire builder, your empire, gives you that platform to do so. All right? And so I want to help you go through this. So we're going to move into your story is yours to tell. So your story is yours to tell. And this is where we're actually going to take those 7 superpowers that I just told you about that we went through, and we're going to lead them into the 3 secrets that actually unlock them and let you ask. Okay? Let you ask yourself that question, like, how long am I going to wait to make this happen? Right? Let's see. Awesome. Let's see if I can remember how to turn you into a mod. There you go. Okay. Thank you. I trust you. All right. So you don't have to do this alone, right? You don't have to wonder. I read through everything with you. I help you launch, I help you promote, I help you monetize. You promote with your own university, I will promote you. I will share your books even after you've passed, right? So anyway, there's that. So let's go through this. I'm going to ask powerful questions. Make sure to write down these questions and go into this, right? So secret number 1, as you write, you heal. So the objections that kill this, right, is I'm not healed enough yet. Ask yourself, am I feeling this for myself? I'm not healed enough yet. Do you hear yourself in that? What if I'm re-traumatizing myself? Or what if I re-traumatize somebody else, right? What if somebody else comes after me? If that's something that scares you, write that down, okay? Write it down, because these are valid points. You get to work through them. One thing that I do to work through them is tapping, right? It works great. What if my story is too much or not enough? So are these blocks, okay, is the secret block stopping you from 1, healing, and 2, stopping? Now, if it is, or starting writing your book, if this is stopping you, if any of these are stopping you, then Empire Builder is for you. And why is because of this. 1, I'm a trauma-informed, transpersonal. I have my degree in transpersonal psychology. I am not licensed. I am a coach. I have been working with people with trauma for the last 20 years, and I'm great at it. I'm elite at it. I am fly me down, put me on stages, elite at it from Alaska. Great at it, okay? That said, I'm going to be holding you. I'm going to be helping you, and I'm going to help you get through things your way fast. Not my way, but your way. And if you've worked with me in the past, this is even better because I already know your story and I know stuff, right? So this will be perfect. Okay, so if this secret is blocking you, then I want you to just say, okay, this is what sets this program and working with Lisha apart from anybody else. You're not going to get this in another write your book. You're not going to get this from you're not going to get the healing from a ghostwriter, you guys. You're just not going to get the healing from a ghostwriter. Doesn't happen. It's more of a cover up, right? Working with the ghostwriter. Okay, secret number 2, your story is good for your health. Did you know that? Did you know that telling your story is good for your health? So if you're telling yourself these things, you're blocking yourself from this secret, from your health, from your immune system, your nervous system, your genetic line. Your kids' health is better for you telling your story. Your parents' health is better for you telling your story. Because as we know in quantum physics, how we shifts things. All right, so if this is aligning with you or you have questions about it, put it in the comments and we'll get to those. Okay, so here's how you recognize those objectives. I don't have time. I'll lose myself in the process. You're telling yourself, I'll lose myself in the process. I don't have time, right? I don't know how to sit down. This is where having somebody that's going to help you with those feelings and anxieties, but also help you set up your writing schedule. Did you know that you have to hire yourself as an author? That authors actually take time out. Some of them travel and spend months writing, isolated and writing. Others find a time a day, but I'm going to help you set up your writing schedule so you can thrive. Okay, I'm going to help you with accountability so you don't lose yourself in the process, but instead you find yourself. And the last block that you might hear yourself say is, this will add stress, not relieve it. And that's because you feel like you have to do it alone. So in Empire Builder, we really create your book with trauma-informed support so you can stand, right? You can stand in this truth. You can stand in your awareness. You can stand in all of that awareness. Okay. The third secret that's not a secret, right, is your story creates passive and massive income. Okay, so the passive income could be it's just in Barnes Noble and Amazon and out in the world. The massive income is you're utilizing it as a platform to get on stages and to speak, to sell other programs, to build your empire. This is what I've done at your own university. This is what I do in my own practice. This is what I've helped my clients do before, and this is why I want to help you do it, because more survivors, more thrivers get to live in abundance so we can generously change the world. There is nothing that we can do from poverty. We have no choice when we're enslaved in poverty, when we're enslaved in debt. Abundance and resources and the ability to speak gives us opportunity to change the world through abundance. And your story can do that. Your story told by you can do that, right? So in this, we are going to talk more about this in just a second. So if you're interested in this, you might be telling yourself, it's not worth the investment, right? I don't have the money to invest in it. Well, what if you don't have the money not to invest in it? I have spent $25,000 on one single course to learn how to put together a talk, right? This is not going to cost you $25,000, right? Books don't make money. True. Books don't make much money unless you have a huge platform and all the marketing behind it. Books don't make that much money, let's be honest. Over time, it can be a little residual income. Like I probably make 10, 15 bucks per my books each and every month, which is pretty freaking cool. And my books and my journals. But they do build for that platform for you to be able to do something, right? And you can get into rooms with your books. And what if nobody cares? You create caring. And that's why we work together in Empire Builder. So even if you've never created a platform or anything, you can do that. So to embody these superpowers, just to go over it, one, we've already covered these things, but you're going to have doubt. And I want you to say, well, I am the authority of me. I am the authority of my story, right? Mental health stuff might come up. In Empire Builder, I'm going to help you walk through that and cover those things. So you have that support by somebody who actually knows, okay? 2, grammar and reading. I'm going to help you find editors and everybody like that. This is not me, okay? I am not that person for you, but there we go. And number 4, I'm the authority of me. Absolutely. Number 4, fear of triggers. We're just going to lift those up. We're going to lift those up and out of the way. Okay. So let me tell you about Empire Builder. If you'd like to know about Empire Builder, we have about 15 more minutes in this. And then honestly, I don't know why, but I scheduled a podcast with Blair, and we're recording an incredible podcast on worth. And in this program, you can learn how to create your own podcast from your story, you guys. So if that's something that's part of your blueprint to print and something that really speaks to your heart, I'm going to share that with you too. So Empire Builder is really a platform to create 3 things you need to build your empire. One is your book and get it published. Okay. This is editing feedback. So it's not me editing it, but I do help you find that partner to edit. I have some great editors in my wheelhouse, and formatters and stuff like that. So we talk about editing, we talk about formatting, we put that together. But what I help you do is really look at your stories, read your stories, make sure that it's all flowing together, that your message is coming across right, and I read it through you as you write it, right? So it's really powerful, especially for those more traumatizing experiences that we are speaking about in my platform. 2, you're going to have your signature talk. We're going to pull from your book and pull your signature talk. So you'll be able to go and promote your book in 10-minute, 20-minute, and 60-minute talks on your book and on your story, right? So this is going to help in 100 ways. And if you desire, we're going to help you design a program off of your story, off of your book, off of your theories, so you have a course to sell or something to sell, right? All of this, you have Voxer support for coaching. You have, which is a private walkie-talkie. So when you're getting into those slumps, that you have that. Now, this program is either 6 months of intensives or it is a year program. All right. So what you're going to get set up for when you do this is speaking with Gigs, which is a ChatGPT prompt. I help you with ChatGPT prompts that is going to help you get on podcasts, help you get stage leads, help you in pitching your book and your story afterwards. So these are all bonuses there. We're going to launch your program together. So not only do you automatically have a book launch partner, which you don't see anywhere else. Nobody else offers this. I help you with business visibility. This is press releases, speaker sheets, and how to create them, and what you need to do that, right? All really helping you with ChatGPT and what you need. Empire Builder is a mastermind, or will be a mastermind with our coaches at Your Own University, and as well as people that have gone through Empire Builder, that you guys can partner, get to know each other, and talk. That is just starting. So as you said, this year is the year that I'm shifting from the more coaching model being my front to this writing your book being my front. And then you get your final starter. So I'm going to help you put together a landing page, opt-in templates, so people can buy your book, get your book, and do that. And I have a lot of fun doing that and enjoy all of that. All right. So to support you getting through your story, right, I have a couple things. I have a nervous system reset for writers. These are meditations and hypnosises to help you get through the fears and the blocks. I have Money and Honey, which is a 7-module course where Tarek, BB, and I help you bust through your money blocks. That's usually $9.97. You get it for free when you join. We have an author branding workshop, which is where we talk about your brand and you. That's just you and I. We have a social growth training. This is TikTok and YouTube authors, where I bring in some of my favorite trainers and coaches that teach you and teach me at the same time. Then we have a lifetime Amazon store within Your Own University. Your book gets put on my in my store at Your Own University, where people come for self-help and development books. Now, bonus, when you join now, you're going to get a ChatGPT AI that I created to help you get it done. This is $1,000 value. You get it now. You get it now. So it will help you start your book and get organized. I'm really excited about that. So here's some things that I know I'm busting through this, but I really want to get to Q&A, and I did double book myself, so that's my own issue, but I want you to know the value of this, because I have spent over $250,000 myself on learning how to write my books, how to put together my websites, how to launch my things, how to put together these talks. And I've been stuck in groups with people not listening to me, without the emotional support. So then I have to go get the coaches and the emotional support and all of that stuff on the back end, and it costs me even more. So here are just some typical costs, right? You can do this. You can hire a ghostwriter. I hear that all the time. Well, I just want to hire a ghostwriter to write my book, right? Because I want to avoid the triggering. Well, if you avoid the triggering, it's not healing, right? It doesn't help your nervous system. And when somebody calls you and wants to talk to you about it, you don't know how to talk about it, right? But a ghostwriter, a good ghostwriter who really does it and hears your story, which you have to tell them anyway, is about $25,000 to really get it done. All right. Speaker coach training. I put $10,000 here. Like I said, I spent $25,000 last year on one training with one person, and I was one of 200 people in the group. And in all honesty, I didn't get much from it. And it's usually not part of a book writing program. I'm going to have it be a part of your book writing program because it's necessary if you want to help the masses. If you just want to write your book for you, though, it might not be that necessary. But if you want to write the book to help more people, then this is it. But I have something for you if you just want to write it for you. That's much more affordable, right? You get a business mentor. I've been in business for 20 years. Most coaches, most people haven't been in business for 20 years. I have been in business for 20 years. I have the track record. I have the things to prove it, right? It's usually $15,000 a year people spend on their coaches. My coach right now is being super affordable with me, but she's about $5,000 for 3 months. So tech and funnel building, right? It's usually $5,000 getting that done. I'm going to share with you how to do that and how to get it done, what programs to use. So your book can pay for it. Your book can pay for it, right? And being trained by a trauma transformer for the last 20 years with proven methods that have helped people transform all sorts of trauma. You don't get that usually at all in a book place, right? Just to work with me in one of my programs is $6K for the year. So all of this, right, is upwards of $50,000. And that's really, truly a low estimate for the value that you're going to get in Empire Builder, right? So if you're like, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, what about privacy, all of that stuff, you're private, your word is private. We sign an agreement. I never share anything that you don't want me to share. Everything is solid. I'm going to help you with direction. You are going to save a ton of money and a ton of time going through this program. All right, so your book builds your authority, your talk promotes it, and your program monetizes it. And that's really how it's built together, and that is your empire. And you might have part of it done, right? So if you want to do this, it really is apply only. So what I want you to do is DM me right now, or you can email me at info@yourownuniversity.com, info@yourownuniversity.com. And I'm going to share with you how to get started in Empire Builder. It is a one-on-one personal program. So I don't just accept everybody. It's not a big group program, right? I spend time with you. This is about you, and this is about your book, and I only can accept so many people per year. So thank you for the direct message. Awesome. I'm going to get in touch with you a little bit later on this afternoon. Okay. So that's for that program. It's apply only. But right now I want you to get your toes dipped in. If you choose to do this, then that $333 investment today is going to go into your Empire Builder if you get accepted into the program. But anybody can start this 21 days jumpstart to get it done. Now, when you do this, you are going to get daily prompts from me on how to write and start writing, right? We're going to get your draft of of your talk, because we're going to kind of put it all together at one time, and we're going to map out your program. So we're going to have one meeting, okay, that's us, where we're going to outline your book, draft your talk, and map out your program. Now, you might not have a talk, you might not have a program, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this. That's okay. You're also going to get, when you apply, you're going to get the bonus of the ChatGPT Get It Done as you go through the 21-day jumpstart. Okay? And you get to start this week for only $333. So what does Get It Done have? So Get It Done has your daily action steps. We have daily blessings. You're going to have accountability with me. I'm going to share some really powerful resources with you, okay, to get things done. And I'm going to help you set up. Remember, I told you you're going to have to hire yourself as a writer. You're going to have to hire yourself as that writer. I'm going to set you up to write, okay? So Get It Done. You're going to get your daily schedule. We are going to meet 3 times as a group. This is a group. So if you join, you're going to meet with me 3 times as a group. This is just open hours. You'll just call in. You'll say, this is where I'm at in my business. This is where I get stuck. It's going to be 3 Fridays, right? When you apply to, anybody can do this. Okay, you don't have to do Empire Builder, but when you apply for Empire Builder and you join Get It Done, then with that, you get the ChatGPT prompt for free. Now, this is the trained ChatGPT that I have trained to help you get your book started and get organized, putting together that for you. All right. Now, if you just do Get It Done, right, you're going to get the prompts, you're going to get everything like that. You're going to get the open hours with me to get your book done, and I'm going to give you the resources builder so you can get published. You know how to do that and work through that for all of it for just $333. All right. So any questions, as we have just a few more seconds here. If you're listening to me on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. And feel free to just message me, info@yourownuniversity.com, and we'll just get started. All right, let me see if I can stop share here. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. Oh, maybe YouTube stopped. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, now I see you guys.